Yo, what's good, everybody? This is your boy Boss Golf, and welcome back to Boss Golf Plays. How are you silly motherfuckers out there doing today? Hope y'all are having a great day as always, man. So check this out, man. I have to talk about it because it is getting ready to drop here in a little less than a few months, man. Tekken 7. Oh man, y'all know how I feel about Tekken. Boss Golf knows how I feel. I know how I feel about Tekken, man. That is one of my favorite fighting games. I'm playing all kind of fighting games. I started off with Mortal Kombat, which is crazy, right? For a kid, 4 years old, the first game they touch, MK. But the game I fell in love with the most has to be Tekken. I was trying to sit here and think before I turned the camera on and started recording. Like, what was it about Tekken that just pulled me so much? Because I mean, there's other great fighting games out there too. You got Street Fighter, of course. Mortal Kombat is one. More recently, it's better. Of course, Mortal Kombat is loved throughout the entirety of its lifespan, series lifespan. But more recently, the recent titles are the better ones, of course. And then you got King of Fighters, Marvel vs. Capcom. There's all of these, and these are great games, but the one that I always would go back to would be Tekken. I loved that game. I don't maybe it was the fact that it was self-aware that it was hokey. Like, I don't know, it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously as a fighting game, but it has I don't know, it just has that type of action where it seems like it was a game. I know that's not the case, but it feels like it was a game that was made just for me. It's something I can't really explain, but let's sit down and talk about Tekken 7 for a minute, man, because it's getting ready to drop. It's been a while. This game has been out for almost 3 years. It's been out in the arcades in Japan for almost 3 years, and usually, if I'm correct, this is usually how Tekken goes about with their video game releases. When it comes to their series, they'll usually have a game in the arcades first, and they'll let that sit and they'll let that muster in the eastern region for a while, and they'll bring it over to the western region, and actually all of the regions with the console releases. And this is cool, but at the same time, somebody brought up a really good point that I was watching. It poses kind of a bit of a problem for the fans, because we've been seeing content for this game for a while. We've been anxious to play it for a while. And here's my thing about waiting on games. The thing that I hate is that I do hate waiting on games that are released in other regions, and then we have to wait for an extended time span period just to get that release. And the thing I hate about that is that I start to lose interest after a while. It's different if there's a game that, let's say, it's supposed to release in a certain quarter, and it comes out in that quarter in one region. Let's say if it came out in Europe or Japan, and then it's supposed to come to America like maybe, we'll say at the latest 5 to 7 months later. But Tekken, good God, this game, we've been seeing stuff about this game. I've been hyped because hell, it just feels like we just got Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I fell in love with that game. That game was pretty damn fun. And we heard about Tekken 7, and it's like, and the suckiest thing about this is the fact that hey, yes, this, y'all already know me, your boy. This definitely is because at the moment I don't have the funds for it. Is that it comes out right around the time that Injustice 2 comes out, which is a problem because I loved Injustice. I still remember when I played that first demo. That was something crazy from the DC universe and NetherRealm that no one's ever seen before. I love Injustice as a video game, and I feel like I'm gonna love Injustice 2, but that game is coming out in a few months, and then Tekken 7 rolls around almost a week later after that. And so there's kind of this competition. I've been going back and forth throughout the weeks thinking like, man, like if I really had to choose, like which game would I get? It's like I want to get Tekken because of the simple fact of I grew up with Tekken. That's what I always played. My favorite memory of Tekken is back in my younger days when my stepfather would take me to his friend's house. We'd sit and everybody would have, for some reason, like that was the game around the block. Everybody had Tekken, or at the time it was Tekken 3 and Tekken 4. So everybody had, you know, Tekken, and I would love going over there playing against the older dudes because, like, yo, I was to that point where I was good enough to almost beat their ass, but not just quite. But I still have fun playing that game. It's the most fun out of any video game as far as fighting games that I had. I had fun playing back in the day, and so there's that about Tekken 7. And not just that I have fun playing it. I mean, yeah, the storyline is goofy as hell, but to be quite honest, that's what I loved about the storyline, is that the fact that it was goofy, it didn't take itself too seriously. It was a parody of itself, and yet a hardcore action game. The soundtracks, it has never failed. I don't think there has been a Tekken game except for Tekken 4. To be quite honest, I don't even think I own Tekken 4. Except for Tekken 4, it hasn't been a Tekken game where the soundtrack hasn't been banging. That's some true shit all the way up to this day. That would be true all the way up to, for the next 5 millennia. The soundtracks of that game are amazing. And then in the more recent builds of that game, of the series, you got the customizable characters, which have been great. I think my favorite rendition of the customizing on that game has to be Tekken 6. I like the way they had that set up to where each character had their own, kind of doing it how Injustice is doing it now. Like each character had their own costume variations that you can add on to them. They had either they had stat boosts and things that you can either buff or debuff, or you can decide whether you want to turn it on. In Tekken Tag 2, they kind of took that out. So, I mean, of course the customization is still there, but they kind of gave, like, as far as the male characters and the female characters, they gave them, like, almost everybody had, like, the same options with, like, maybe 1 or 2 unique costumes for that character. But in Tekken 6, they had, like, all characters had at least 5, maybe 6 variations of different costumes you can throw on. And that's what I like about Tekken as well. And so it's like you got all those things about Tekken, and then it's like, oh god, Injustice too. I loved Injustice. I love the fact that they turned a DC game into a fighting game, which is something we've never seen. And if we have seen it, it's been on some hold on, let me slice this water. Oh, that's right. That's real right. If we have seen it, it's been on probably either the SNES or the regular NES, and like it wasn't good because as I recall, I don't remember playing anything like that. So Injustice, something new we never seen before. I love the way that the mechanics are with the characters. I love the controls. I love the transitions, the animations, and all this other stuff. The story was good. I mean, it was just a whole new take in a different direction. That when that game dropped, it blew the hell out of everybody, especially NetherRealm fans, because it's like, damn, y'all could pull this, and then of course they go back to Mortal Kombat X, but which was a good game. NetherRealm produces good games, which is why they're one of my favorite companies. But it's like I don't know, I have this it's just gonna be a hard choice. It's like either Tekken 7 or Injustice, and the reason that's hard right now is because I've kind of lost interest in Tekken because of how long it's been out. And I know they usually take they usually do this with every this is nothing new. They usually do this with every how can I say it? Every version, every sequel that they release, they'll have it in the arcade for a while, and then they'll bring it over to the consoles and finally release it globally for everybody to play. But I feel like back then, playing Tekken, it wasn't as much of a problem as it is now, especially with YouTube. That's why I feel like a lot of this stuff is rolling in, is, you know, not at YouTube's here, not just YouTube, the internet and everything. Everybody can go online and you can look up stuff about your favorite game and you see all this stuff. So it's like I said, I listened to somebody talk about this and how they were saying like you pretty much know what's going to be in Tekken 7 from just looking at all of the arcade plays. We pretty much know the characters that's going to be in there, the new characters. Of course, we don't know the story, the main story. Now, another thing I liked about Tekken, any fighting game really, is that every character has their own. When you play that story, it's as if that character is the main character of the series, and that's their story. But we don't know like the main story, where Akuma's a big part of the story, and things like that. And you got the Mishima family, they're finishing up their tale. And then that's another thing, it's like this is the end of the Mishima saga. So it like, is this going to be either the end of Tekken as a whole, or is there going to be another Tekken with a new with a new family, new story, how should I say it, Final Fantasy style, just continuing with more chronological sequels, or not chronological sequels, but more sequels, just giving a new number added onto it. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of leaning towards, when it comes to, I'm gonna say this and I'll ride up off this. It kind of comes towards, I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning towards I wanted justice, because it's like with Tekken, I kind of know what I'm going to expect with Tekken when it boils down to it. I've been playing it for a while. I've been playing that game since the first one. I can honestly say I've played every rendition of Tekken, minus the I think there was like an extra Tekken. Was it Tekken? It was a Tekken before Tekken Tag 2. It was either a Tekken before Tekken Tag 2 or a Tekken before Tekken Tag 6. That was, it had 4 characters. It was like Devil Jin, Kazuya, Xiao Yu, and Alyssa. And I didn't play that because that was like exclusive to like one console, and I didn't have a console. I didn't reserve my copy or something like that. And so I know what I'm gonna expect with Tekken. Everybody has their different storylines. Of course, they're gonna have customization. The fighting style, the characters are gonna be the same. So it's like I know what to expect. And then once again, with YouTube and going around looking up clips and them showing videos of stuff that's been in our arcades. I mean, there's even been tournaments for a game that hasn't even been released yet. And so it's like, there's people out there that already know how to freaking play. There's people out there that have pretty much had sexual affairs with this damn game, and we just been left in the dirt. And then there's Injustice 2, a fresh new game. Like, of course we see the best, and that's another thing. I'll talk about that in the other video. Is that I hope that with these Injustice betas, they don't show so much to where it's like they release. I know they probably won't, but hopefully they don't release too much to where we'll just be surprised too. I mean, like I told y'all, I like how in these Evos and in these expos and all these things, the video game expos, that you present your game and show them, but I don't like for there to be too much of a reveal. So that way, I don't know, it's just that much more surprising. When you touch the game, you sit down there, you get that genuine thrill factor. I'm touching Tekken 7 now, and not, god damn, y'all already had y'all had field games with this game, and I just get online and I'm already getting my ass strong. But that's just your boy. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment box down below. How y'all feel about this? I'm always gonna have that love for Harada and the crew for Tekken at Namco. Regardless of how much rants I've given Namco, mainly, actually only because of the Naruto game, Namco will always be cool with your boy because of Tekken. But let me know what you guys think in the comment box down below. That's just me on this game and what I think and how I feel about it getting ready to drop here soon. I at least hope that they drop a demo of some kind, either a demo or a beta, to where we can at least get a taste. So that way if I do have it to choose injustice over that I would be like, okay, I got my feel, I know what I'm expecting, this is what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. Kind of like what they did with the Tekken that came out with the PS3 only, with like Tekken Revolution. Not the pay to play crap, but the just kind of give us a taste of the game. But I'm out this thing, man. Y'all gonna do y'all thing. Leave your comments down below. Make sure y'all like and share this video to everybody else. Get people talking about this shit. Tekken's getting ready to drop. Y'all already know, man. This your boy Bosco. Keep them schlongs long, them clits tight. I will see you silly hoes on the flip one. Peace.